Hello everybody, my name is Pravus, and welcome to Surviving Mars Green Planet. We haven't played this game on the channel yet, and that is a bit of a missed opportunity on my part, because this game has been out for a little while. It is developed by the same people who are currently working on Surviving the Aftermath, which is a game you guys know that I enjoy. Now, I've wanted to play this on the channel for a while now. I played it a little bit at launch on my own time, but I haven't touched it since the Green Planet expansion came out, which adds in the ability to terraform Mars from the angry red planet into the happy little green planet. And I kind of want to do that, so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and do that on the channel. This is going to be a fairly chill, just kind of gradual expansion kind of run. We're not looking to go for anything outrageously challenging. I just want to experience the new terraforming features and have some fun along the way. Now, if terraforming is the end goal, there's a couple different approaches to this. Of course, the classic way to approach this game is to envision that we are building a new world for humanity, right? This is the next great step in human evolution, and we're going to create some sort of a utopia, a happy little hippy-dippy commune on Mars where everyone holds hands and sings Kumbaya. Okay, that sounds great. However, I think a more reasonable reality of space exploration and colonization will be coming from private companies who are looking to make a profit. And that's what I'm going to go for in this particular run. Let's play with the Blue Sun Corporation. I know they're considered to be easy, but really, I don't think any of these guys are outrageously difficult. They just have slower starts than others. This will let me get going a little bit faster, and also thematically, it works fairly well for me. And my goal here is to terraform the planet so that I can basically make the argument that, hey, I put all the work into it, I made Mars habitable, therefore, as far as I'm concerned, I own this planet, and I'm going to sell pieces of it to you guys, and I'm going to make a killing in real estate. Hundreds of trillions of dollars. There's literally no way to make this happen in the game. But just, you know, from my own, in my own head, that just sounds like the most fun way to play the game, so that's what we are going to do. For our commander, we could go for the new Geoengineer, but I'm not going to go for the terraforming right away. I think that'd be too aggressive. We do need to have a good, sustainable colony first. So to that extent, I may want to go for the Astrogeologist. Not that I think it's the best commander. It's actually, if anything, kind of, you know, a little straightforward, but it does guarantee that there is going to be a rare metal deposit in my initial sector, which I think works very well with what I'm trying to do with the Blue Sun Corporation. We're here to make money, dang it. Lots and lots of money. So we're going to play with the Astrogeologist for that reason. I'm not going to choose my storyline. Let's have it be a mystery, just a random storyline for the game. Only 2 rivals. I don't want to have too many of them. I don't really care about rivals in this game. And then I think that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and get started. For our initial payload, what do we need? Well, probably not quite this many orbital probes, though they aren't going to be bad. I'm just not planning on using them early on until I have the tech that can reveal the deep metal deposits. So we'll ignore that for the time being. That's going to be all my cargo capacity, and let's find a good landing spot on the planet. Now, preferably something with a hefty amount of metals and stuff on it, and pretty reasonable amount of concrete and water. This isn't too bad. Elysium Alpha. Elysium Beta is probably even better. Good lord, there's loads of resources. Okay, I like that one. We don't have to worry about too many threats, just a few meteors from the sky that can destroy everything. It doesn't sound too bad. Look how pretty this planet is. This is our end goal, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we are trying to bring about. I can literally grow money on this planet. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so to start us off, we could use these probes, and it says that deep scanning of the sector is not possible with the current technology. So we're not going to worry about that right now. I think the probes might still be able to scan for it, but we already know where some deep metals are. So I'm going to go ahead and land my rocket immediately down over in this direction, and hey, what do you know? There's actually an anomaly not too far away. I like that. Let's go ahead and set you up down over, I guess, over here for now. We're not married to this landing position for the rest of the game. We can migrate as much as we dang well need to, but for now, I think this has a lot of what we need. Look at the nice little blue rocket! Because we're the Blue Sun Corporation, so we're very thematic in our paint jobs. Yes, this makes sense. Look at all my little drones, Mr. Handies. Oh, they're cute. They're basically the Wall-E's of the game, which is hilarious. Yes, anyway, so a universal depot, so we can go ahead and just gather up some materials and drop them off somewhere. And let's see, there's a few things that we are certainly going to need. First off, we need fuel in order to send the Hyperion back into space. And for that, we're going to need some water and some power, etc., etc. Gathering up some metals will have to be a pretty high priority. It's one of the reasons we have this rover. Are you automatically going to go gather? Yes, they are. Perfect. Okay. And you guys are currently unloading everything out of the rocket, which is perfect. Okay. So, let's see. We're going to need to get some power. And I think some solar panels is probably going to be the way to go. Though a large solar panel would probably be a little bit better for me overall. We get a pretty good amount of power per maintenance. And let's see. Now we're going to need to get some resources. It's not going to be in the form of production. That's not what I want yet. It's an infrastructure. Oh, a drone hub. Yes, that is something I know that I want in order to make sure that I can control the drones after I send the rocket far away. So let's go ahead and place down that drone hub so we have a good area of control for my drones. If they get too far away from that radius, we no longer control them. That's the problem. So you have to have hubs in order to make sure that you can still control all of your little workers. Now, something I know that I'm going to want is a concrete extractor. We could place one like up over here or something, and that wouldn't be too bad. Maybe something kind of like this. I'm going to take as much advantage of this concrete as possible. I think this would do the job pretty nicely. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We are getting some of the solar panels online, which is great. It's going to take a couple of polymers and some concrete in order to do this, but that's fine. Let's see. For power, we need to get some cables going. We will send you guys off over this way and just connect it up over here for now. Though we will eventually want to demolish this in order to get something a bit more efficient, but I think that's going to be okay. And then, yeah, once we have concrete coming together, then we need to worry about getting some basic life support in the form of moisture vaporators, etc. Or water extractors? Let's see. We need prefab parts for this. Yeah, I don't have a moisture vaporator. I didn't get that in the rockets. There's something to be said about doing that and making that a priority. Could go for a water extractor. Do we know about any water deposits nearby? I don't think that we do. Okay, so let's see. We are currently trying to scan this region right over here. And we can have always a little bit of scanning potential, even without any sensor towers or probes. We could speed that along, though, if I wanted to go ahead and get myself a sensor tower. And that does take up some of my electronics and some metals, but I think that's going to be worth it, at least to get us started. And I'm placing things close together for now, just so I don't have to worry about a lot of extra cables, but I think that will be nice. That should speed up my ability to explore the planet and find a source of water that we can exploit. Okay, there we go. Our concrete collector is up and a-running, which means we are now gathering up some concrete so we can send that to the base, which means we can finish up our battery and store some power, and then everything's going to be looking a lot better. And there goes our RC harvester dumping off a whole load of resources. Look at you go! You're amazing! Hey, we finished scanning a sector, which means I found some water! Actually, this is a really, really convenient location. Okay, I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and place down our water extractor. The rocket's only slightly in the way, but we'll go ahead and place down right here. I think that'll end up being okay. And we're going to need to have some way of using that water. Whoops, that's not where I wanted to go. Preferably in the form of getting some fuel. Fuel would certainly be quite nice for me. I think it's under production. Fuel refinery, there we go. We actually do have a prefab of one of these, so this should be fairly easy for me to build. We can just unpack one, basically. Let's see, I want the pipes to kind of line up nicely, so we'll just do something like this. There we go. We need to get some power set up with some power cables, and we'll set you guys down over here, I guess, for the time being. That should be okay. And then we also will need to get some pipes just so we can hook up these buildings. There we go. And the water we get will get pumped into the fuel refinery, which will then be loaded onto the rocket so that we can launch it back to Earth. We did get a Eureka. Our scientific analysis servers just crashed. We tried turning them on and off again, but the problem persisted after the reboot. While looking for the glitch, your data technicians discovered the possibility to boost the performance of the program by running secondary analytical trials just this once. Gain some extra sponsor research, that seems pretty nice, a random tech, or reveal several techs in a random field. I think we're just going to go for the raw science. I think that should be just fine. Now, in the meantime, we do have other rockets we can use, so if I go to our resupply screen here and say, hey, we want to have a cargo rocket, please send me one, that'd be great. I would love to get an Explorer. An Explorer would let me explore some of these anomalies and try to get some sort of a scientific boost. So every once in a while, it gives you something really, really bad, and obviously that's not quite ideal. Do I want to buy a new rocket for $500 million? All right, no. We can afford to wait on the first rocket, but that's where we're going to get. This is still taking too long. All right, forget it. We're just going to go ahead and do a supply pod. How's that? The only thing I really wanted right now is the Explorer anyway. So I'm going to spend $100 million to get someone to just launch a pod of the planet with an RC Explorer in it. Does that sound okay? I think it sounds okay. Launch! Did you guys know that you can change the skins of your buildings? There's a couple of them you can cycle through, like this one right here for my water instead. I kind of like the look of that one. That's pretty cool. Can you change the skin of a solar panel? No. What about this thing right here? Yeah, you can change that a little bit if you want to. I don't know. Kind of cool that you can do that. Hey, the pod is ready to land. Okay, we're just going to drop you off over here or something like that. Okay, cool. This means that I should be able to use my Explorer to go and look for anomalies, and I have discovered quite a few on the map at this point. Quite a few of these little guys right over here, huh? Yeah, so let's go ahead and grab my Explorer. Now let's go ahead and scan the anomaly that's right next to the base. Who knows, maybe it's something amazing. Okay, sweet, we just got a load of science from the anomaly, which actually finished up my tech for the advanced Martian engine so we can have less fuel. Okay, yeah, sure, that seems pretty nice. So instead of 50, now we only need 30 fuel, which guess what? I've got. So now we can launch the rocket and send it back to Earth. Bye, rocket! You were so helpful in getting my robots here. Thank you, bye. Ooh, we got something new with an anomaly. Okay, red planet, blah, blah, blah. We get... New technologies are available on the research screen. Drone swarm and hygroscopic vaporators. Another anomaly has revealed low-G high-rises and Mars crowdfunding. Well, that all sounds exciting. I don't think I really need apartment buildings. I think these are somewhat overrated. Crowdfunding sounds pretty cool, though. Get a grant of $1 billion. Oh, I love crowdfunding. That's amazing. Ooh, we got our first breakthrough. Core water uncovers extremely rich underground water deposits. Don't really need those right now either, but I appreciate the thought. Thank you. Well, we're currently generating enough power and water. I guess we could actually go ahead and get started working toward those, domes. Do we want to go ahead and do that now? I don't know, it feels a little bit early, but I'm not sure what else I really need to work on right now. If I want to get those rare metals, we need workers. So, if we want to place down, let's say, a little micro dome or something. It's a very economical, tiny dome. It doesn't cost me a ton. Consumes a little bit of power, oxygen, water, blah, blah, blah. But overall, very low maintenance costs. And I like that. It's extremely efficient. So if I were to place down a little dome right over here, close to the rare metals, I think that could kind of work for us. So it's going to take me a little while to get all of the metals and the concrete we're going to need for the microdome over here, but that's kind of fine. In the meantime, let's go ahead and lay down all the pipes I know I'm going to need in order to get some water off in this direction. We need power cables, and also we need a Moxie. A Moxie is going to be able to generate, for me, oxygen out of the planet. Now, we do want to have a place to store some of that oxygen, so if I go to life support over here and just place down a simple oxygen tank or something like that, I think that would probably be pretty prudent. So let's go ahead and build one of those right over there. And you can see the dome is going up. There it is. Now, it's not a very big dome, but it doesn't need to be a very big dome. It just needs to house enough people to get the underground rare metals and send them back to Earth. That's the only thing that matters. Uh-oh, we've got fickle economics. Our sponsor informs us due to changes in economic conditions, the import price of key resources will be increased. What? Turns out even Mars is not beyond the reach of the stock market hiccups on our mother planet. Machine parts will be expensive and 5 souls. Well, that sucks, but I don't need an absolute ton of those for a bit. What I do need soon are polymers, because right now I'm spending a fair bit of polymers on maintenance. I don't have a whole lot left, but, alright, let's start by going to our dome and see if we can't place anything inside that would be beneficial. Let's see, some simple living quarters makes a bit of sense to me. Alternatively, probably better to get some living complexes. There we go. Place one of these down over here to get us started so we can have some houses for all of our little peoples. We're also going to wish that they had some place that they can spend their time on some services. So, for example, getting a grocer would probably make some sense. Let's see, we will probably want... I guess a diner is also completely fine as well, but yeah, let's see what else we got here. An infirmary would probably make some sense. We can place one right over here. And... I don't suppose we have the ability to, like, get any food or anything quite yet, do we? Yes, a hydroponic farm. Now, that does cost some polymers, so we gotta be careful about that. Let's rotate you around, place you kind of like so. There we go, so we can grow our food and sell it off in our local grocer. And I think we actually have one space left. We could probably use that for some, like, little decorations or parks or something. Maybe, like, a little garden or something like that? No, not quite that. Hang on, stone garden, something small. Sure, a small alley will do the fine. It looks like it's got a little park bench and stuff. Fine, that should be enough to get us going. Okay, so we're gonna have some houses and we're gonna have some services. We'll be able to grow our own food. That should, in theory, be all that the humans need, at least at the start of the game. But of course, we will want to get ourselves some of that rare metal extraction, and that's where the production comes in. Rare metal extractor, right there. Yes, it's beautiful. Place this thing right here. We can get all sorts of metals and send them back. Ooh, we got a new special project. Launch the SETI satellite. Grants funding. Multiple uses of the project will yield diminishing returns. We need a lot of fuel, some electronics, and some metals. Well, I don't really have a whole lot of electronics, But we might be able to buy some and bring them back. 50 fuel feels perfectly doable, and we would get $2 billion? Sounds pretty darn good. Well, we don't have any rockets currently available, but if I bring some people here with the dome set up, maybe then we can send the rocket on an expedition. So let's take a look at our rocket here. Now, I may need to do a supply pod just to get the electronics we're looking for, but if I get some colonists, that would be helpful. We do want to filter out our colonists for somebody that makes a lot of sense for our rare earth metal mining. So I think that geologists, for example, are going to be preferred, absolutely. So it looks like we'll get a mix of a bunch of geologists and a botanist and a couple people with no specialization, but they should be able to work in our farms. So this seems kind of okay. Doesn't seem absolutely amazing, but it's mostly what I want for a very specialized starting colony. Now, one downside to your initial round of passengers is these are going to be considered the Mars founders, and until they have survived for a while on Mars, we can't get any more humans. So I have to be sure that I'm happy with this, and I think that I am. Let's go ahead and launch it. It says there's no space for residents. That'll be fine in a minute. Once we're done building the housing, which is currently under construction, I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. Now, it's going to be a little while before the Hyperion arrives, but we're not going to be able to launch it and then get it back here quickly. So, I think we may want to ask for another supply pod, and we need some polymers, but we also need those electronics. Only 15? 20? That's still not quite enough. Let's go ahead and launch this. It's going to cost some money, but that's fine. We can actually try to go for another supply pod, and for this one, I want some electronics. Just electronics, maybe? Maybe a little bit of polymers. Sure. Let's go ahead and launch both of those. It's going to cost me some cash, but that's fine. I am absolutely happy with spending money in order to make money. A couple $1 billion in exchange for some electronics? Yeah, worth it to me. Okay, gonna launch a pod right over here. Gonna launch another pod right over here. We'll be able to salvage these for some extra resources later, but there we go. Boom! And boom! Who just tossed this thing around? I don't even know, but there we go. Loads of polymers and electronics and stuff. Yay! And just as excitingly, we can launch land our rocket with our passengers ready to meet their new home. Yes, and the rare earth metal extractor is finishing up right about now. Hey, look, the decommission protocol. Perfect. We should be able to salvage all of these for a little bit of extra stuff. Okay, first humans have arrived on Mars. There they go. Look at them. Oh, they all have little Star Trek outfits or something. It's great. Aw, super duper cool. Okay, so most of these guys are geologists, and they should automatically go run out here to our rare metals extractor, which does have a handful of shifts. We can probably do both morning and day shifts. Maybe not necessarily night shifts. I don't think we have enough geologists for that, but these guys are going to get over here and start producing a whole load of the rare metals. Oh, we should also make sure we place down a storage area for some waste rock. Little dumping site or something right here. That should be fine. Okay, perfect. You can also see the people who are working all the other different buildings. For example, we have this hydroponic farm. We also have the grocer where people are working. And an infirmary. Not that I have any medics or anything, but, you know, still, there you go. That should be fine. No edible food has been harvested. What? Nah, we're producing some food. It's fine. And it's going to get sold immediately in the little grocer. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so people should be feeling relatively comfortable. Now, if we wanted to skip the founder stage, which is 10 souls by default, all we have to do is have somebody give birth to a baby on Mars, and at that point, there's a legal Martian in the human race, which means, yeah, colonies are totally done. We're totally acknowledging the success that is Mars. That said, you have to have a really high comfort rating for all your people, and I'm not particularly worried about that. I'm here to mine these guys for all they're worth, literally. That's all that I care about. So, yeah, forget the babies. We can afford to wait a few days. Now, I would like to send our rocket on an expedition to try and get that extra couple $1 billion, so we'll use up some of our fuel, some electronics, and some metals. Let's send the expedition, which I think it will try to do automatically. We just need to gather up all of these resources, which should be fine. We got plenty of electronics, we're not too far off on our fuel, and plenty of metal, so this is well worth it. On top of that, when they do come back and such, we should be able to send off some of those rare metals as an export, which will make me a chunk of money. Okay, so the rocket is away, which means we are now doing our expedition, so that should be fun. A little low on the food still, unfortunately. Wish we had some more botanists right about now, but at least for the moment, I think we're sort of hanging in there all right. What's going on over here? Oh, too far from the drones. Right, probably don't want to have a dumping zone over there then. Yes, let's go ahead and dismantle this thing. We'll move it somewhere else. Okay, we finished with the Explorer AI technology, which means I should be getting a little bit of extra science now just by having one of those Explorer drones. It says it's 100 science per soul for each, but I think it actually has diminishing returns, where the next one gives me 80 and the next gives 60, etc., etc. What else do I want? Faster drones? That actually could be pretty helpful to me right now. We could also try building new drone hubs. Not sure we necessarily need that right now. Yeah. Let's try going for the faster drones, because we've been going a little bit over our capacity, I think, for our drone work. So having them move around actually should make them a bit more efficient, because they're getting from place to place a little bit sooner. Now, as far as my long-term plans, I think getting all the extra money out of a dedicated mining colony is great. Eventually, we will want more, though. We're going to want to have at least some farms that are properly dedicated, and I'd also really like to take advantage of these research sites, and there are a couple of them in the area. Actually, 3 of them all nearby. Not bad. So one really big dome that is dedicated to scientists with a load of research points actually sounds pretty darn tempting to me. We should be able to get an absolute ton of science. And maybe also we can do some underground metal extracting too. We may need to import some food just because we're kind of low at the moment. And you know what? This is one of the reasons that God made money. So let's go ahead and order a supply pod with some extra food in it. We think that's a pretty good investment. There we go. Never fear, food is here. Let's just drop it like right next to the dome so they all know that I'm taking this super seriously. Doink! All right, we got food. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. What's this? It's rough life here on Mars. You can't prepare for addiction. Oh no, somebody's gained the alcoholic trait. Alcohol's not the answer to your problems. Also, we don't have any. So how you developed that trait is a mystery to me, and I think you are going to end up being a very unsatisfied person. I'm going to go ahead and build myself some sort of a dedicated landing pad. I don't like how much dust has been kicked up by the ships. It's getting all over my solar panels and stuff, and I'm making them less effective. Oh, also we just finished a low G drive, so my drones are now moving around a little bit faster. Ooh, I think we finished our special expedition. Okay, let's take a look at the message. Our very own SETI-CD satellite has been delivered and launched into Martian orbit. It is now operational and will contribute towards the decades-old mission of finding signs of intelligent life elsewhere in the galaxy. $2 more billion for me. And let's go ahead and land my rocket back down over here so we can pick up all of these rare earth metals, of which I have many, 33, and we'll send those off to Earth. I'm hoping to make an absolute fortune out of this. There we go. Okay, so we have enough fuel, and we've maxed out all of our potential exports, which means I don't see any reason not to just go ahead and send this back to Earth. Launch! Bye, rocket! Alright, how much money are we going to make out of this thing? That's what I want to know. How much money am I going to get? And the answer is $900 million. I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, but the good news is every time we bring the rocket back, if we can just fill her up with some rare metals, we can continue getting $900 million that I can spend on all manner of resources. Also, the founder stage is about to end in just a few more hours, which means soon we will be able to import more humans so we can conduct research and, you guessed it, extract more metals to send back to Earth. Nice, nice, nice. All right, well, I think this is a good place to end this here video. I think this is going to be a pretty short series, somewhat whimsical, though. I'm looking forward to the challenge of terraforming the planet. Let's see how fast we can get that done. In the meantime, if you did enjoy, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.